Hello, world. How are you? I have with me my amazing client, Jessica, who's had really great results in our Fit for Life program. And I find your story to be super relatable. So I'm really excited for you to come on and share. So if you don't mind, introduce yourself, let everyone know where you're from, what you do, what your background is, and everything.
Okay, great. Hi, my name is Jessica. I am a mom of two. I have a son, Deegan, who's 10, and a daughter, Briley, who's 7. I am a,
Egan and Briley.
yeah, hmm
I like it.
thank you. Um, I live in upstate New York, just east of Albany. I am a project manager by trade. So I work in the construction industry. Um, but it does, so people kind of mistake that for like hustle and bustle. I can run an entire project from my desk. So it is a lot of computer work, a lot of phone, organization, a lot of purchasing, things like that.
A
So
lot of sitting, like you're sitting at your desk all
yes.
day. Yeah, like most of our clients. Yeah, lots of sitting. Okay. So tell people where you were before you joined our program a few months ago.
Oh my gosh, I hope you have some time. I
Everybody get some popcorn.
um so I've always had an interest and a love for health and fitness. I have struggled with weight my entire life. So even back to when I was little, I was thinking about it today. Um I tried the South Beach diet when I want to say I was like 15 years old.
Yeah,
Like I could,
I tried dieting when I was very young too, maybe even 13. Yeah.
yeah, like I literally remember eating, like waking up at uh, 5 o'clock in the morning, doing these videotape workouts and eating egg whites, like these muffin cups I made. They were absolutely disgusting, but I choked them down. Like I've just always had a unhealthy, a desire to be healthy in an unhealthy way. Um, I was raised by my father. My parents divorced when I was very young. He had the majority of the custody. I was with my mom, like a night during the week and every other weekend. So, and my dad is a farmer. So we were raised basically by an older brother a lot of time. So I just didn't have like a solid, healthy upbringing when it came to food, nutrition, how to fuel your body properly. So weight is something I've dealt with all my life. I never really was able to get it under control or where I was happy with it. um, I got married young. I was 22, had my son when I was 23. Um, and I just, I put a lot of weight on. I always say my body didn't love being pregnant. I put on a ton of weight and I was able to always get the majority of it off, but like save 10 pounds, 10, 15 pounds. Then I had my daughter. So I was already 15
Yeah.
pounds heavier
So you
than
never,
I
yeah,
was.
you were never at a place where you were, first of all, let's go back to even childhood. You were never at a place where you were happy and comfortable. And I can relate to that
Correct.
growing up. I mean, my dad was a cop, my mom was a nurse, and we grew up just kind of eating whatever, but there was not like this health conscious eating. They cooked homemade
Correct.
meals. Everything was homemade, but like my dad was Italian, so it was just a lot of like you just and you eat what's on your plate too. Like there's no,
Right. Well,
so
and I feel like it was just a different time, right? Like we ate Elio's pizza, we ate Velveeta shells. Like that's what we grew up on. It wasn't like, oh, you guys are eating, like
yeah.
everybody did it. We lived on fruit roll-ups
Yeah,
and,
fruit roll-ups of Welch's grape juice is the healthy,
yes.
yeah, our
Everything was
parents definitely
juice.
they didn't know, and I think there's much more level of awareness now, but even still,
Correct.
kids can still struggle with being overweight now. But so you never were at a point where you're happy, then you had your first kid, then got pregnant again, and now your body's like, now it's piling on.
Correct. And so I got to so after my daughter, yeah, and I've tried everything. I tend to have a little bit of ADD where it's like, oh, the new thing. Oh, let me try this. Oh, this is new.
Well,
This is cool.
you and
Oh,
every
this is
woman watching. Let's try keto. Let me try Weight Watchers. Let me try potato. So not just you, but like every shiny object syndrome. Welcome to America. Like everyone wants
correct.
the newest, the greatest, the best, the
Right.
newest. Workout
Oh,
with
this is gonna work.
yeah. Oh, this is
This,
oh,
this is gonna work now.
yeah. There's a pill. There's an injection. Let me try it. And it's like you never get to the bottom of it, which we'll talk
Correct.
about in a moment. But you never get to the bottom of why you actually gaining weight in the first place.
Correct.
Right.
So I just kind of bounced around, like you said, I've tried the keto, I've tried the South Beach, I've tried the no carbs, I've tried the low carbs, I've tried the no fat. Um, and I just was never at a good spot.
Right.
It was the summer before COVID hit. I went through a separation and I needed a mental outlet. And um I drove to the local track. I live right down the street from the school and there's a track and I just started walking. I would not put music in. I needed that time in that space. And I did it religiously
Wow.
every day. And then I started to pick it up. I'd run a turn, I'd run a lap, I'd run, and I just started
Just a little more. Yeah.
little bit. And I started to see weight come off. But knowing now, what I know now versus what I know then, I thought I was on the road to getting healthy. I will tell you, like, I literally said this to you when we had our first conversation. I was on my way to being the healthiest I had ever been in my adult life. And I look back now, I was not healthy. I now understand that there is a whole different
Yeah.
um,
But you
term.
but give yourself credit because you started to make strides. You know what I mean? You were
Correct.
taking steps. You're moving in
Right.
the right direction. You weren't going the wrong direction. But yeah, there's a lot of things we teach in the program and a lot of knowledge to be had about what true health really is from the inside,
Right.
right?
Right. And I was just using it as an outlet. I was doing all cardio. And then once at the end of summer and the weather started getting crappy, I'm like, I got to join a gym. I can't not do this. So I joined the local gym and I spent, the winter, literally, I would go to the gym. I was working two jobs. I was coaching gymnastics after work.
Um,
And then I would go get out of there at probably 10 o'clock and I would drive to the gym and I would hit the treadmill and do that. And so I was literally down to where I was when I got married and weight wise.
wait,
And I just was like, holy cow, like I'm doing this. I am like, this is awesome. And then insert COVID and the gyms get shut down. And I was deemed an essential worker. So I was still working full time, driving to the office. I had two kids home being homeschooled. I was newly separated, trying to co parent at the onset of the pandemic with somebody who, we're just learning how to do this. And it was hard. Life was
mildly
hard.
stressful. Side note, mildly stressful for all you ladies watching because so many. I mean, stress is another factor that then adds on to the weight and just the how hard it makes it harder to get the weight off. So you, on top of just already struggling with it, then you had this added layer of stress. So thank you, COVID. Yeah,
Yeah.
all the crazy.
Yes. Thank you, COVID. And I just hadn't, so all of this takes place. I remember crying, being like, what am I supposed to do? I've always, I've always used alcohol as a crutch, as a coping mechanism, because again, going back to the world I grew up in as a child, anxiety was bull crap.
Yeah,
Um, it wasn't something like you just deal with your emotions. It is what it is, like suck it up and keep going.
yeah,
And so now looking back, I realized that I liked the person I was when I was using alcohol because I was fearless. I didn't feel anxiety. I wasn't, um, I didn't have those emotions. The next morning when I sobered up, okay, now I'm dealing with anxiety times 10. Now it's been the last few years that I've realized that I deal with this like pretty heavily. And so when COVID hit and I'm dealing with all this stress, what's the first thing I'm going to do? The alcohol increase. And I said this, I go, despite everybody's views on COVID, this birthed more alcoholics than anything. Like
yeah. Everyone
it
was so
literally,
stressed, stuck inside. Yeah. And that's, I mean, that for me, when that happened, my business really escalated as well because so many women were gaining weight and in need of community and support and just feeling lost and out of control. So
yes, alone. Like I remember sitting out. Thankfully, I live on a ton of land. And so I was able to get outside, get the kids outside, kind of get some fresh air because we so needed it. But, so then we dive into, the alcohol increase is through the roof. We were supporting small businesses. We're eating out. I'm running. So I'm going from work to home. I don't want to go to the grocery store because I don't want to deal with putting on a mask and being out with people. So, it was not, and it was a really, and I was not when COVID hit, I was not in a sustainable place where I could know what to do if the gym shut down. My life was go to work, go to work, go to the gym. And now you stop that and I just had no idea how to maintain my weight loss by doing it at home.
yeah.
So, and I had no idea how to control my emotions and how to do the mind work to be able to get through something like that. So I put all the weight I had lost back on, plus probably another 15 pounds or so. And so we lived through that. And then I just got to a point where I was like, I feel so burnt out. I just feel unhealthy. I say gross. I didn't feel I felt not good. I just felt sick, like without being sick.
Yeah, well, you feel sick in your own skin. You feel uncomfortable, and like I mean, honestly, your body was sick when you think about it. When you do have that level of inflammation in your body from drinking, from stress, from all the things, from the things that happened when you were a childhood, like we talked about in the program, our issues are in our tissues. You were sick.
Yes. And now it's like, yeah, that's exactly what I was. I was literally sick and I felt it and I knew that something had to change, but I didn't know what. I'm a worker. I will do what needs to be done.
Shit, I've
But I
seen the
think we're
program. You put in the work. You are no joke. I mean, your results have been it shows. So yeah.
and I just needed direction and I was looking surface level. There's so much stuff out there. We are consumed with so much stuff and I just kept looking and I wasn't looking in the right place. And I remember so it was early November. I was sitting in a parent teacher conference for my son and he struggles with focus and ADD symptoms and things like that. And his teacher who was a godsend said to me, we're going to get him help. Like we're going to do what we need to do to help him get to where he needs to be and there's absolutely nothing wrong with him getting the help he needs. And in that moment I kind of felt like she was talking to me, not about my son, but like me directly like, Jessica, why is it not okay to ask for help? Like you need to ask for help.
Wow.
And I walked out of there and I was just like overcome with emotion. I'm like, we got to ask for help. You can't do this on you don't know what you're doing and it's okay not to know.
Thank
The
you. Can we just repeat? It's okay not to know what you're doing. Just ask for help. There's a reason why there's experts in certain fields, right? I mean, I wouldn't have gotten to where I am without asking for help to start my business. How would I have known? How would I have been able to help all these women if I hadn't asked for help 5 years ago?
Yes. And I'm determined to like change the stigma that we don't know and it's okay not to know and to ask for help. And so I have known Lisa for years. I love her. I've always respected her and I trust her as far as when it comes to nutrition and stuff. And I saw that she had been posting about right around Thanksgiving. It was like a 5-day challenge group. And I reached out to her and asked her that I was interested in learning a little bit more, and she added me.
Yep.
And in those 5 days, I learned more than I just kept like every day I was like blown away. I was like, this makes so much sense. This makes so much
I
sense.
love it.
This makes so
Let's
much
just tell the
sense.
audience for those listening, we at Fit for Life, we do a 5-day challenge and it covers everything from nutrition to mindset, flexible eating, macros, routines, lifestyle. I really feel like we cover so much. Proper
So
workouts
much.
for the body. So Jessica did that challenge, and after the challenge, she was like, okay, like I'm gonna apply the program. And so that's how she's been in our Fit for Life program since the 5-day challenge. And then you even did the January one too, just to do it right. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of
Yeah,
our
and honestly, I feel like I got even more. I'm so glad I did because, it just hits different when you're now
in it.
in it and you know more. Yeah, because well, I was invested in the first, I was vested in the first one. I wanted to be there. I wanted to learn. But when you're invested in it, like
Well, yeah,
it's a whole different
when you put
ball
your
game.
money where your mouth is and then you're actually in something, it elevates you and you're like, okay, now I'm really, really in it. It's one thing to do a free challenge, it's another thing to be in a paid program or a paid challenge and things like that. So yeah, so what would you say? Because your results have been, I would love for you to share some of your results. You lost 16 pounds so far?
I'm 15 pounds. Yep.
Oh,
I
close to
was
15 pounds.
15 pounds physically. It's 15 pounds, but I swear I am huge I actually was talking to a friend yesterday who was a little discouraged about where she was on the scale. And I said, did you take pictures? Because I swear my pictures show more.
Totally.
It
Your
just,
pictures look, that's why when whether it's 15 or 16, like your pictures look drastically different and your skin way more glowy, thinner face, like just different energy overall.
yeah. Yeah. So physically it's been huge. I notice, I just the appearance wise, my clothes fitting, my energy levels, I just feel good. Like I don't feel inflamed, I don't feel bloated. Um, I just physically I feel so good. And I laugh because I say it's only 15 pounds. Like I can't wait to see how I feel in another 15. And that doesn't even sound, crazy to me anymore. Where I used to be like, oh, I'm gonna lose. I used to be addicted to the scale, and it was all about where if I didn't see a little bit of, decrease, then I would spiral out of control and be like, oh, this is not working. I got to find the next thing that's going to work.
Yeah, and that attachment to the scale, it's like this would be used in our program, but we don't. It's like I think that it's one tool, but like to me, photos are all telling. And how do you feel? How do your clothes fit? The scale might
Right.
not move, but all of a sudden your jeans are loose on you. What does that say?
Right.
So that fact that you're having so many quote unquote non-scale wins is really
Right.
what is the most telling, I think, to people and for yourself. Like who cares really that yes, 15 pounds is something to be proud of. We should be proud of that, but also just all these non-scale wins. You're not drinking anymore. You got your family involved in not drinking, which is huge. You're being a better example for your children, and you're just showing
Right.
up better for yourself. Which at the end of the day, that's
Yeah. I honestly feel like the mental and emotional wins and changes that I've implemented since joining this program, and it's been 3 months, and it was through Thanksgiving and Christmas and
hardest
New
time of year.
Year's,
Yep,
you
hardest time of
know?
year. Most people gain weight. Jessica joins in November, doesn't gain any weight, actually loses weight, and now is learning all the tools to carry with her through these hard times, as people want to.
Right, so I get through these hard times still able to lose, and that was all huge, but most importantly, I have literally, um, I have a s I need to be an example for these kids. I don't want my kids to grow up the same way I did, in the fact that I had no understanding of nutrition. I had no understanding of I needed to fuel my body. To me, losing weight was like, okay, so I eat salad, like veggies and lettuce, and it's like I literally took me till I was 34 years old in the last 3 months to understand that I was probably ODing on carbs. I had no protein. For me, fats are bad.
Right.
So, now I want to implement that and teach them, So we had breakfast the other morning, and it was like they had a slice of bacon, they had a whole thing of scrambled eggs, and it was like, okay, this is your fat, this is your,
Well, good. You're
protein.
showing them, yeah. And like these are carbs that are going to be really good for your body. Like just being able to share that with them, and also like teaching them too. We can have treats. Like we can have a
Yeah.
cookie, we can have a slice of pizza. We're
Yes.
not going to have that every day. And as you work on that relationship and deepen that with yourself, you're just going to be and better example for them, which is so important. And I know there's so many moms watching that will be able to relate to this because just like the women in our program, like most of our clients have children. And I think that's part of everyone's why is you want to lose the weight for yourself, but you also want to show up to be the best version of yourself for your family.
It's so true. I said I was diving in, I was doing this because as a mom, I spent so many years feeling like I needed to be with them, be there for them every waking moment, because I'm the mom. That's what I have to do. They need me. And now it's like if I could go back and tell my younger self, and if I can tell any kid of my friends or family who have young kids, don't lose yourself. They don't need you every waking moment. Because what I've learned is that I'm not loving my kids any less because I'm loving myself more. They're
Amen.
not neglected. They're not neglected because I'm not no longer neglecting me. We're
Right.
all taken care of. We're all being healthy. And because I'm choosing to set aside that time, they're not being, we're all winning here together. And if I can, on the contrary, I'm an even better mom for doing this. I'm
Yeah.
an even
I
better
love that you
mom.
said that. I'm not loving my kids any less because I'm loving myself first.
More. Yep.
More first. Yeah. I mean, that's just like summarizes everything right there. Because I feel that a lot of moms really feel that way. Well, I would do it, but it takes away from my time with the kids or my time with the
Right.
kids. Like, no, you'll be the best version of yourself for your
Right.
partner, for
You
your partner,
can't let
your family. Like, if you just show up better for yourself.
I just said you can't let your I was just talking to a friend last night about this. She's got 2 kids also, and I said you can't let your reason why be the excuse of why you can't. Like we want to do this for our kids. You want to do I want to do this for me, and I want to show them
Yes.
that this is what is required to be healthy. And my whole definition of healthy has changed in that, to me, being healthy now is not being defined by a number on the scale, but getting to bed at a reasonable time, having a wind down at night, being in bed at the same time so that I wake up. We get up early. We're
Wine, wind down, not wine. Wine
not wine. No.
down,
No.
turning it down, taking it down a notch, calming your system down,
Yeah.
not with alcohol. Yes.
Not with alcohol. That's the other thing. For something that was such a crutch for me, we're doing dry February. My whole house is, and they're crushing it. I had no faith. If my mom watches this, I apologize, but I literally had no faith that we could do this. And, we're, we're crushing it. Honestly, I couldn't be more proud of everybody. And even before dry February, I want to say from the time I joined this program, till now, I think I bought maybe a case or two, like 12 White Claws in
Yeah.
3 months when I was probably buying 12 packs a week, to be honest with you.
Huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I like my tequila here and there. I like a nice glass of champagne, but like it's how often are we doing it? And people just don't forget. People forget that alcohol is a toxin and affects your mind and affects your gut. It increases anxiety and depression. So it's like, I'm not saying never have a drink, but be more
Right.
conscious of when you're drinking and why you're drinking.
100%. And so we think about when you think about it's horrible. It's not good for you, but the calories on top of it, right? So if you're trying to be, it's just empty. There's no nutritional value. And I sound funny, but I walked into a Super Bowl party yesterday with a 6-pack of water, and I was like, "Who am I?" Like, because I don't. If I'm gonna splurge and have like a snack, like just drink the water. Like we don't need to spiral. We don't need to,
Right. I'd rather my calories come from a slice of pizza or a brownie.
Yes.
Like for me, if I want to treat, yeah. So I love that you've made so like just you're like a different person. It's like I mean, it's just amazing. So I'm so proud of you. And yeah, I like you. I
Thank you.
can't wait to see whatever the scale says. But I can't wait to see the rest of the transformation.
That's right. I keep writing in my every month I'm writing in my planner and stuff. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't my focus is no longer. I used to project. I used to live in the future. Oh, when when I lose 50 pounds and
Yeah.
when I do this and when I hit that goal, and I would never hit it. And now I'm not living in the future. I'm gonna win the day. I'm going to just get through the next 24 hours, and I'm going to make, the best decisions I can in whatever this day looks like. Because there's too many unknowns between now and 6 months. And
Well,
if I say
expectations. If we say I need to lose 50 pounds in 5 months, like you're setting yourself up for failure when we put stipulations and expectations, which
yes,
is what we teach in the program. It's like focus on the journey, focus on what was your win today. Find one win each day. Not,
right,
oh my gosh, I'll be happy when. I'll be happy
right.
when I lose a weight. I'll be happy when I'm a size 6. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't make you feel good.
Yes, 100%.
So what happens when you get to that size or that weight? Then what?
Right. Well, and that's the other thing. It's not, for somebody it was like an end point for me. Like, I can't wait to get to that, because then what? You're going to start eating like shit again? Like, that doesn't
What
work.
is this
Like,
goal?
what do you,
Next, now I'm gonna gain on my
why
weight.
is,
What happens? This is a
right.
lifelong journey, which is why we say in the program, this is a
It's a
circle. There's
circle.
always going to be something, and maybe you go through ups and downs, but there's no end point for your health.
Which takes so much pressure off. Like, I
Oh,
almost feel like I'm just like, I
right?
have no end date. I have nothing that I'm like, it's like
Right.
you just work through today, and
Right.
then you start over tomorrow, and you work through tomorrow. And like once you take the pressure off of I need to lose 50 pounds by June 14th, you're
You're
like,
right.
oh my gosh, I just need to focus on the next 24 hours, which seems so much more manageable to
Yes, and
me.
what I can do for myself in this 24 hours. Can I show up here? Can I do that? And then show up as your best. So yeah, awesome. What would you say to anyone who would be watching this that is like, ooh, I wanna do a program, but I'm maybe a little bit scared? What would you say? Because I know there's so many women who want to ask for help, but they're a little bit scared, or they think they're gonna fail because they failed on other things like you.
Um, I would say like dive in. I honestly investing in me as a mom, I have no problem spending on my kids. When it comes to me, it's like, ooh, do I really need that? Am I
Yes.
really
Do I
worth
really need
it?
that? Yeah. Am I worth it? Yeah.
Am I
Whoa.
worth it? And when I got off the phone, when I was on the phone with you and we were going through everything, I literally was just like, I need this.
Yeah.
And if I have to sacrifice, I will sacrifice where I need to so that I can do this for me, because I need this, I deserve this. And ultimately, making that decision, which is one that I will literally never regret. And I think about this all the time. Like, I've never spent money on myself, and to do it and do this program is something that I will never regret. And it's something that I am so thankful that I decided to dive into, because it has, sounds cliche, literally changed my life, my outlook, how I think, how I parent, how I view myself, my worth. Like, I was worthy of this. And all of those other gimmicks and they don't make you they don't make you dive deep enough to understand that this is a life. Like, you're learning,
We're
you're gaining wisdom and knowledge, not from some who is they say, like, that drives me.
influencers. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they say this is going to make you lose weight, they say drink, this or do that. And it's like, investing in yourself with people who know what you're doing, you're literally learning knowledge that you will have with you forever. So make the investment in yourself and honestly dive in, because you will have so many ahas. You'll have so many, like, this makes sense. Every time I listen to you, I listen to Nicole, I listen to Lisa, I'm like, this makes so much sense. And then I apply it to my life and, like, it works. I'm eating more food than I ever have in my entire life.
Yeah, you're not restricted. You're enjoying your life. You're living your life. You're hanging out, going to parties, flexible eating. So yeah, it's not a diet program. It's not a restriction. But I love that you said that, because at the end of the day, I think a lot of women they'll spend money on their kids or this and that, but when it comes to themselves, they get a little hesitant. But
And I think that what they think they're getting, right? So it's like, do I really want to invest that money on how to lose weight? Because that's what my thought was going in. Like, I'm gonna invest in this to help me lose weight. They're gonna tell me what to do. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna lose the weight. And now diving in, like, you learn that the emphasis comes off the weight. The weight will come off if you do put in the work.
right.
Your body will shed the weight. It's all of the other things. It's the mindset piece, it's the emotional changes, it's that, sure, the physical changes almost just become a bonus. And
The byproduct of all the other work you're doing. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure. Wow. You're like, sis, well, I'm just going to hire you as a salesperson for Fit for Life since you love the program so much and sell it so well. But no, thank you. I'm so proud of you. I really cannot wait. I love your energy. I love your drive. And like you said, it's just, you really dove all the way in and you show up for yourself day in and day out. And that's what it takes to not just get results in the program, but that's how you get better results in your life, with your family, with your kids, in your career, just diving all the way in, not one foot in, one foot out, just going all the way in and showing up as your best self. Not every day is going to be amazing, but you just do the best you can, and that pressure is taken off when you just do the best you can with what you have. So congratulations on
thank you.
and more to come. And yeah, if anyone is watching wants to reach out to Jessica, she's happy to answer any questions.
Absolutely.
But yes, thank you so much, and we'll chat soon. I'll see you Wednesday on the call.
Awesome. Thank you.